All right, so here we are, Mughal Slam, PJ Gowdy, third season driving for McLaren, second place in the World Drivers' Championship with 112 points. What's up with the name? How'd you get that?
It started a long time ago, probably when I first got on the internet. I was initially called Slam on the internet, but believe it or not, some other people are also called Slam, so then I went with Mughal, which are the little creatures from the Final Fantasy games, and there's apparently other Mughals in the world too, so eventually I just joined them together and went with that.
Oh, that's interesting there. 15 months ago, you wanted to play it and join a PC league for F1 2011. Couldn't find one online, so you joined PRL and created the AAC. Is that right?
Pretty much. I went to a few different websites trying to get them to start one up or seeing if they had one, and no one was very hospitable until I came across Sam Hockley, who owns PRL, and Mikey Wolford, formerly of PRL, and they said I could run one here, and initially I thought no way, because I have not an organizing bone in my body, but it seemed like my only option, so here I am, many successful seasons later.
Now, talking about AAC Season 3, by the end of Season 2 you said your goal was to turn pole positions into wins. After 7 rounds you've won 2 races. Are you happy with that?
Not at all. I can't recollect what I've done in each specific race, but I know I've had many missed opportunities. I think the majority of them are my own mistakes, although I've definitely cut down on my driving mistakes this season. Pretty consistent on track, I think. I haven't had too many spins, but I've had a few incidents with other cars, and I've for the most part made the right strategy choices, but I've seemingly had an inability to hit the right button for my pit stop, so I've had the wrong tires go on my car in a couple of different races. That hasn't helped. But, you know, the season's pretty young still, and I think my luck will balance out over the course of the season, and I'll find myself hopefully battling for the championship right up until the end of the season.
Do you feel that your race pace is improved, or that your qualifying is still the strongest part of your race game?
Qualifying is definitely one of my stronger points. I don't think it's necessarily any different from last season. I think my race pace is improved overall, mostly because I'm faster on the prime tire this season than I was in F1 2011, where I seem to be a little slower compared to the top 2 or 3 guys, but I've always been pretty fast on the options, and I don't think that's any different now. I think I've got more of a focus on some of the race conditions, although my practice time overall is probably down.
So, switching gears completely, favorite food, what might that be?
That was an unexpected question. My favorite food, without a doubt, is ice cream, although, as you may or may not know, I am quite a freak of nutrition, and I currently eat paleo, meaning that I essentially eat as though it was 10,000 years ago, so I don't really eat any processed food, so ice cream sadly is out of my diet for the most part. If anyone needs nutrition advice, you know my email address.
Before the season start, you also said you'd like to seriously compete for the championship this time. You are just 3 points behind championship leader Mercedes Dusty, but you have also the 2 times AAC champion Lotus driver behind you in Troy, just 6 points behind. Do you think it was a good start to your season, and how do you see your chances against these 2 teams?
It's probably dangerous asking me that question, because I'll probably say something to annoy some of the other drivers, but I'm definitely probably at least 2 wins less than what I feel I should have had. I think I should have been on top, although, you know, I'm sure Troy and Lauro will say the same thing. Not wanting to take anything away from Troy, because he was clearly the fastest driver last season. The last 2 seasons where he's won the championships, but you know, I think he's kind of lucked into the wins a little bit, especially at China where we had the wet race, and you know, he went with the right strategy. I don't think anyone knew what the right strategy was until they went for it. And you know, Monaco, I always think I should win Monaco, but I'd have to say that Lauro is the fastest person in this championship, so to only be 3 points behind him probably isn't too bad. I should be happy with that, but at the same time, like I said, missed opportunities.
The World Constructors Championship is not so close, with Lotus and Mercedes around 50 points ahead of McLaren. Sauber's just 11 points behind your team. Is this a fight for third place, and do you expect to be better than that?
I definitely expect it to be better than that because my teammate, Phil Seaborowski, has had a couple of DNFs and some bad luck in other areas. He's been involved in a lot of incidents this season, not necessarily his fault. Do I think that we can win this championship? I think it's probably unlikely. I think Lotus are by far the strongest team. They've got 2 drivers that have won multiple races in the past. I could see us competing with second with Mercedes and Sauber, but it's a long season. Anything can happen. Drivers come and go, so maybe a little too early to predict this one, where there's 2 drivers involved in each team.
Speaking of your teammate, what do you have to say about your season so far with Phil? How are things going? Any tips, ideas that maybe could improve both your races?
I don't think either of us are practicing as much as we have for past seasons, so if we could pick up the practice time, I'm sure that would help. I don't know. I think that it's kind of more about consistency. We're both pretty fast. Phil's a lot faster than he's showing in the races. I think he lets the pressure get to him a little bit, but hopefully we turn that around and start getting some more consistent points for both drivers. Hopefully in the top 6 finishes for both drivers would be a good goal, maybe even a little higher than that.
Checking our schedule, we have 4 more rounds and then another break for Christmas. You may be here talking to us again after that. Valencia, Silverstone, Hockenheim, and Budapest are all coming up. Do you expect to have a big advantage or to struggle at any one of these tracks?
First of all, I would propose that no driver be interviewed twice in a row, but I don't think there's any track I particularly struggle with anymore. There's tracks I love and tracks I hate, but that seems to change each season based on how the race goes there. Like last season I loved Singapore, and then I had an awful race, and now I'm not looking forward to that one anymore. But there's really nothing on the calendar that I'm not looking forward to, and certainly the 4 tracks you mentioned, I have positive feelings about all of them.
Well, that wraps up our interview with PJ Mughal. Thanks for stopping by tonight, and good luck in the next couple of races, and good luck for the rest of the season.
Pleasure. Thank you.